Cheers, beer runners, and happy summer. As the temperatures are quickly rising, there are a whole slew of new concerns that we have to be worried about as runners. So I thought I would just do a quick video running through my go-to gear of summer to just make sure that I'm able to safely enjoy my runs. Like I said, with those increasing temperatures, there's a lot of things that you have to worry about on your run. So my gear certainly changes in the hotter months of the year. So I thought I'd just go through some of the things that I use to make sure that I stay safe on the runs. But before I jump into my specific gear breakdown, a quick reminder. If you missed my last video, I've officially partnered with Hemp Daddy's CBD products. I'm gonna test a bunch of their products. The first one they sent me was their maximum strength CBD oil. If you missed the review, you can go back and watch that. I'll link to it down below. But if you're interested in testing some of their CBD products, use the link below, hempdaddies.com/iRunOnBeer, or use the code iRunOnBeer on their website to save 15% on any of their products. So looking at my go-to summer gear, I'm just gonna run through everything from head to toe and then end with some of the accessories that I add to my kit, again, just to make sure that I'm prepared for the hotter months and able to continue to enjoy the run. So there's really three main concerns when we're talking about running in high heat. Three things that you have to worry about that should help you determine what you should be bringing with you on the run. First, and probably foremost, is gonna be hydration. Obviously, that's a huge factor in the summer months. You're gonna be losing a lot more water when you're sweating on the runs and a lot more electrolytes when you're sweating on the run. So you wanna make sure that you're not only properly hydrating during the runs, but also in your day-to-day life before the runs as well. So you're not going into the run with a deficit, you're well hydrated going in, and then just trying to maintain the hydration throughout. Number two is gonna be sun exposure. The sun's a lot stronger in the summer. For me personally, I am very fair-skinned, so sunburn is a very real concern. I actually got burnt yesterday on my long run. I finished the run before 10 in the morning, so I thought I would be fine. I didn't think the sun would be strong enough to burn me that early, but unfortunately, my skin is never safe from the sun. So sun exposure is definitely a concern, and then heat exposure as well is going to be the third thing. Obviously, when it's hot, running becomes a lot more challenging, so you just want to make sure that you are tuned into how your body's feeling on a run. Pay attention to your running effort, just because it is going to be a lot more challenging for you to maintain some of those paces that you're used to, because your body has to work so much harder to keep you cool on the run. So those are really your three main concerns. I actually have a video in the past, which I'll link to below, of tips for summer running if you're interested in that as well. But let's just jump into the gear that I'm using. Like I said, I think the best way to go through this gear is from head to toe. So starting off with the head, hats are incredibly important. This is gonna help a lot with the sun exposure aspect. I personally have a really hard time running with sunscreen on just because I get so greasy. So I try to cover as much of my skin as possible so I don't necessarily have to cover myself in sunscreen. And a hat is a necessity just to make sure I don't have to put it on my forehead, so I don't have to worry about sunscreen running into my eyes during the run. But with a hat, big things that you wanna worry about. I actually just got this Buff Pack Run hat. I like it to have a little bit of a stretch. The reason for that is because especially if it's a lot hotter than normal, I will actually pack ice cubes into the top of the hat before I put it on. So that way you have the ice melting down your neck to help keep you cool. A great tip to help just cool you down on the runs. But really I'm looking most importantly for just venting on the hat to make sure that it stays pretty cool on my head and helps just maintain some of that sweat. But then also a good brim to keep my face covered again, so I don't have to worry about the sunscreen. So Buff is a great option. I have a ton of Buff products for the summer, but there are tons of other options out there as well. You just really want to go for something light that you're not going to have to worry about really weighing you down, and something that's going to release the sweat. Another thing I actually forgot to mention that you do want to look for in your hats is the inside that fits kind of around your head. Most running hats will have this, but have some kind of sweat band so that it's actually absorbing the sweat from your head again, so you don't have to worry about it running into your eyes. It'll just help you feel a little bit cooler, a little bit cleaner during the run, make it a little bit less miserable running in those hotter months. Moving down, sunglasses, another key component of the summer runs. Just a quick plug for knockarounds. That's all pretty much that I use in running and in day-to-day life, just because of how affordable they are and a great option. But what I really enjoy, these are their specific sport sunglasses. They actually added a little rubber pad to help them just sit snug on your nose so that they're not sliding down during your run. So if you're looking for a nice cheap pair of sunglasses, cheap in price, not in quality, I would definitely recommend checking out knockarounds. Moving down to the torso, don't have a ton to say, but just a few things that you want to kind of keep an eye out for. The key is going to be sticking with lightweight fabric, very very breathable to make sure that you're not holding in the heat. It's able to let air circulate to help keep your body cool. So lightweight, light in color as well, so it's not absorbing the heat from the sun. Again, just little things that you can do to just help maintain your temperature during those runs. I personally like the tank tops. Again, it just lets more heat off, but you want to get a moisture wicking fabric as well, so it's pulling the sweat off your body, just helping to keep you cool throughout the run. So I personally am very frugal when it comes to my running gear, so I'll just look on different websites to see what's on clearance and just try to find the best sales, and then I hang on to my gear for way longer than I probably should. I've actually had this tank top probably since like 2013 I got it, so when you find some good gear, make sure that you hang on to it. Headed down to the shorts. Again, plenty of shorts options out there. Find what's best for you. I mostly just wanted to do a plug for these shorts because I just found them, again, shopping a clearance sale on REI, and have fallen in love with these shorts. I'm actually about to buy probably 2 or 3 more pairs so that I have plenty to cycle throughout the summer. But these are the Brooks Sherpa shorts. I think this is the 5-inch inseam, so nice short, which is great. Makes it, again, helps keep you cool. Very good moisture wicking. It's got the internal liner, so you don't have to wear anything else. It's just the shorts. But what I really appreciate about these shorts specifically is the pockets. Pockets are a huge concern, I think, for all runners in running shorts, because you don't want anything that you have to carry with you bouncing around. So I love these shorts because they have on the back a nice zipper pocket that sits right on the small of your back, so whatever you put in there doesn't bounce around. And then on the sides, they have these envelope pockets where the top actually folds over, if you can see that, and then there's another layer inside that you have to open up to actually access the pocket. That's where I usually keep my car key. So it's perfect because, again, it holds it tight to your leg so it doesn't bounce around. But also some of my other shorts, my keys have bounced out of the pocket before, so this keeps them nice and secure. But these are great shorts, very lightweight, very breathable fabric, so perfect for summer. I will definitely be investing in some more pairs. And for all of the gear that I mentioned today, I'll link down below to some Amazon links where you can find those for yourself. Now that we've gotten through the actual clothing that I'm gonna wear, I know I didn't get to feet. I'm not gonna talk about shoes in this video just because I think shoes are too controversial of a topic. And just by controversial, I mean everybody's different. Everyone has a different opinion, and shoes are not in any way one size fits all. You really just need to find what works best for you. So I might do a video in the future to talk about kind of my shoe routine, but I'm not gonna worry about that for summer gear. Whatever shoes you have are probably fine. But I will jump into the accessories portion of the video. So I mentioned hydration being one of the pinnacle concerns that you have to worry about in the summer, obviously. You've probably seen it in the past. Nuun is my go-to hydration beverage, just to make sure that I'm maintaining electrolytes, maintaining hydration on my runs. I've been using Nuun probably for 3 or 4 years at this point. And based on the distance of my run, I have just a little handheld. This one's from Amphipod, again, clearance sale at REI. I was able to get this, I think, for like $5 or $6. But just something easy to carry with me on the run so I have some water if it's shorter. If it's a longer run, I'll bring, you may have seen this in the review that I did of the vest, but this is the Orange Mud Gear vest. If you're looking for a hydration vest, this one is awesome just because of all of the storage capacity that it has, but also how you can customize it. The way that I run with it is I keep one of these little water bottles with the straw in the front, and then I also have a bladder in the back if it's a longer run that needs it. If it's not necessarily that long, I'll just go with the water bottle on the front and use the back for other storage. But if it is a longer run, like when I ran Bandera, I'll keep the bladder on the back as well. And I like being able to maybe do water in one and electrolytes in the other. But there's a full review to this if you want to check out all the features of the vest. So that's hydration. Another concern, chafing, with how much you're going to be sweating out all of that fluid that you're taking in. So maybe you just want to pick up, if you've never used it in the past, I just use Body Glide. Again, pretty cheap, inexpensive, but just to help some of those sensitive areas to keep you from chafing. If I am wearing the hydration vest, I'll also put it around my shoulders and things like that, just to make sure I'm avoiding any chafe, especially with how much additional sweat I have coming off me. Sorry if that's too gross, but it's definitely a very serious concern for the summertime. And then one of the other things I mentioned was the effort that you have to put in and how much more challenging running in the summer can feel. So I would recommend, if you've never tried running with one in the past, picking up a heart rate monitor. I think this was one of the more inexpensive models I was able to find. It's just the Wahoo ticker. It syncs right to my watch, so I'm able to see my heart rate live on my watch during a run. But this can be really helpful just because easier efforts pace-wise could feel a lot harder in the summer, again, because you're having to work so hard just to maintain your internal temperature to try to stay cool, so your heart is working a lot harder than it's used to. And you do want to just make sure that you keep track that you're not overexerting yourself. Especially when I was doing some trail runs last summer, this became really, really important, because on some of those uphill climbs, especially like in the middle of July, things like that, I'd be going up a climb feeling like I was just moving so slow, but my heart rate was spiking to 180, high 180s sometimes. And it's just helpful to be able to see that, because then even if I don't necessarily feel the overexertion yet, I can look at my watch and say, oh man, I really have to dial it back quickly, just to make sure that I'm not gonna overexert myself. I've gotten myself into some a little hairy situations if I do push myself a little bit too far, so I like having the heart rate monitor so I can just kind of keep track of that. And last but not least, you've heard me talk about them a ton in the past, but I will do a plug for AfterShokz as well, specifically their AfterShokz AeroPex. Again, I have a full review of these if you wanna check them out. They have another model as well, the X Trainers. The reason I point out these two models specifically is because they are waterproof. One, that's helpful with how much you're going to be sweating. I haven't had an issue with any of the other pairs of AfterShokz crapping out because of too much sweat, but if you do tend to sweat a lot, maybe something to think about. But the reason that I like having the waterproof ones in the summer is because I love running in the rain, especially in the summer when it's nice and cool. The harder it's raining, the better, as long as there's no thunder, lightning, anything like that. But I was never able to bring my AfterShokz with me on those runs in the past because they weren't waterproof. I was afraid of breaking those on the run. So I am happy that they finally have some waterproof options to run with. Again, links to that below, but great for summer runs if you, like me, enjoy a run in the rain every once in a while. There you have it, just a quick run through of some of the things that I'm wearing on my summer runs. Again, just to help mitigate any of those negative aspects of running in the summer, to make sure that you're still able to enjoy those runs. Just to recap, those 3 key things that you want to make sure that you're worrying about. 1, hydration, hydration, hydration. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water throughout the day. I actually add in, I drink extra noon in the summertime just to make sure I'm taking in more electrolytes than normal because I am sweating so much. If it's a day that I'm running, I'm usually having at least 2 to 3 noons a day. Again, depending on how difficult my workout was, but hydration so important over the summer. Number 2, sun exposure. Keep your skin covered when possible. If you can't cover your skin, make sure you're wearing sunscreen. As I mentioned, I burned on a run earlier than 10 o'clock in the morning yesterday, so you never know how early the sun's gonna get out to challenge you on your run. And then number 3, and maybe one of the more important concerns just in terms of clothing, is heat exposure as well. So lightweight fabrics, light color fabrics. You usually wanna go with something a little bit loose fitting as well. You don't want it clinging to you, especially as you start to sweat. Something loose fitting to let the air in and let the air carry that sweat and carry that heat away from you as you run. So light in color, lightweight fabric, very breathable are going to be the key things. Moisture wicking as well, but there's tons of options. Like I said, shop the clearance sales, see what you can find. I'm going to put links to all this gear below if you are interested in checking any of these things out on their own, but let me know what questions you have as well. This is in no way a complete list of all of the gear that I have. There's plenty more, but these are definitely the most important aspects that I include in my summer runs. So I hope that helps. I hope you are enjoying your summer runs despite the heat, and thank you as always for tuning in. So I'll see you next time. Cheers.